It's great to have you here to discuss the journey to becoming a life coach. Were there any moments in your journey when you questioned your path, and how did you regain your confidence?
I would call it that since the time I started my journey, a lot of ups and downs has happened. Like a lot of people thought that I should not do this. I should leave this because I was getting to know about the secrets that they used to have. But still, I was clear on my life path, whatever I want to do. I was very clear that the things that I want to take up. My life purpose was quite clear. I decided that I will do what I want to do because that was something which was divinely guided to me. I did question a lot to myself that I should not get into this thing as I'm losing people. But today, if I see, then I would call it that those people are again back to my life. Questioning about the path in every field to get into this situation. You just have to remember your purpose of starting this up so that you are going ahead with full motivation.
That's a powerful reflection, Leena. It's so important to navigate those moments of doubt. How do you approach working with clients who are skeptical of spiritual practices but still seeking coaching?
This was a challenge for me because I'll tell you one very beautiful incident which has happened with me. I was on a Zoom call with a client. My manager booked that call for me. All of a sudden, I was talking. The client just vanished from the meeting. I was very surprised as to what happened. I spoke to my manager. He said that, ma'am, he don't want to get into the session because he's not finding you to be a mature person who can actually give them the reading. I was like, that's not on me. If my appearance is or if I look like a child. That client was somewhat a challenge for me to deal with because he was not ready to listen to anything. So I have to return back the money. That's okay because in every phase of your life, you get into that zone where people don't understand that. But here I can proudly say, guys, I'm 37-year-old. I'm a mature woman. You can definitely consult.
And as you evolved from being healer to a coach, what practices or beliefs did you find you needed to let go of?
I have stopped being judgmental to people. This was the first thing. Whenever I used to see somebody, I always get one thing in my mind that, oh, he's wearing these color of shoes, he must be that sort of a person. He's not standing erect. Oh, he's not eating it properly. These thoughts comes a lot of times in your mind when you are a human being. But when you get into spiritual practices, number one thing that you release is the judgments on people, because I have believed in working on my shadow self, which I have done. Next is not expecting anything from anybody. To have a happy life, do not expect anything from anybody, because once you start expecting, you actually end up hurting your own self.
That's an interesting perspective, Leena. Accountability is essential for growth. How do you ensure that you continue your personal growth as a coach?
Learnings never stop for me. My personal growth is all about being more into occult, getting more into the knowledge, because I always believe that whomsoever comes in your life, even every day you are learning up something. Every day you're meeting up a new person, you are learning up something. That is something that brings you into a personal growth, that this is where you are lacking, now you are learning this from that person.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today, Leena. Your experience and wisdom have offered incredible insights into the path of becoming a life coach. We truly appreciate your openness, and I'm sure our listeners have found so much value in our words. We look forward to continuing this conversation in the future. Thank you.
Pick neurological tools or assessments to better understand a client's emotional or mental states during the healing process.
The techniques that I follow, number one is NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, where we program their mind, we rewire their mind so that they are able to overcome the overthinking. They are able to plan themselves, make themselves in a manner that they are actually living up into their present state where they should be, so that their focus is also increasing in a way. Number two, which has been followed by psychologists also, that is CBT. It basically helps us. CBT is all about cognitive behavioral therapy, which help you to understand the inner trauma that are there, which help you to heal those traumas, get into the major cause of those things, so that with counseling we are able to let them understand how they should react and how they should heal themselves more. Lastly, what I follow is I always ask them to work towards mindfulness. Mindfulness, I will talk a lot about this during all the episodes, because that is the one of the best thing that can help you to learn and stay in your present.
Hi Leena, we are thrilled to have you on episode 3 to discuss tarot as a tool for transformation. Let's dive right in my first question. How do you navigate the fine line between using tarot for guidance and allowing clients to make empowered decisions?
Navigation while tarot is something that we can do on a very good note. I would say that tarot are not only for the spiritual journey, they are even for every aspect of your life, whether it could be your business, whether it could be your relationship, career, finances, any sort of the aspect of your life can be taken up with the help of the tarot. You just need to keep a very clear intention as to what you want to know, because we cannot confuse tarot. Currently, if you are asking related to business, all of a sudden you will get into relationship, tarot will get confused, as this is the work of your energies. Automatically, we have to consider the clear intention. I, being the reader, I never judge my clients. They ask me any sort of a personal question, because if I get into judgment, automatically I'm not being a reader, I am being a normal human being who is into the shadow self.
Great. So allow me to ask you another question. How has your personal relationship with tarot evolved over the years, and has its meaning for you changed?
I started tarot somewhere in 2021. I would say that I have always considered them as my best friends. Earlier, I was the person who used to Google a lot that, okay, I want to know this, what should be the result? I want to know this, what will happen? Now, I am the person who is absolutely into tarot. Whenever I have a question, I always go to my tarot cards and they just help me with the divine guidance, whatever I need. I would say that considering them as my best friends, I take them everywhere I go. These are the things which actually help me to change my aspect of my life. Every day I pull a card for myself. The card helps me with a complete day, that as to how I should plan my day, what is the guidance for my day, what all fears I should work upon. With this, tarot has been a complete change for me. It has changed my life completely. For me, I believe them like I believe my parents.
Thank you, Leena, for sharing your wisdom and insights with us today. We truly appreciate your time, and I'm sure our listeners have gained so much from this session. Leena, we are excited to have you join us for our next episode, where we will dive into the topics healing from within, holistic approaches to personal growth. Let's begin with this. How do you help your clients find a balance between their internal healings and external pressures from society or their professional lives?
This has happened with me a lot of times when my clients complain that they are not able to cope up from the societal pressures, from the society, and practice whatever I ask them to do. For this, I always recommend few things that they should do on a regular basis. That is, number one, once they wake up, always pay gratitude to universe that you have another day to live for. Sit for 2 minutes, do some breathing exercises like exhale or inhale to make sure that you are balancing your energies from the morning itself. Number 2, I always ask them to journal. Journaling is a sort of manifestation, like you are praying gratitude, like you are paying gratitude to universe for what you have, and you are manifesting what you need in your life. With this, you are able to have all those things that you are really looking for in your life. Next, I ask them to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about staying into the present. neither wondering what has happened in your past, neither thinking about what will happen in your future. You are just on the place where you are right now. With a very small example, I'll make you understand this, that staying in the present is all about, like currently you are brushing up your teeth. Your complete focus should be on the brush, on the paste. Are they cleaning up your teeth properly? Each and every gum is getting cleaned or not? Rather thinking about, okay, what do I have to cook? What do I have to wear for my office now? This will help you to have all the thoughts aligned.
Leena, do you think personal growth is ever truly complete, or is it an ongoing journey that we're continuously working on throughout life?
For this, I have a saying to be called as, either you can be a masterpiece or you can be a struggler. Or I would say this actually depends upon the situation, because learnings is the thing that will never end. At the age of 37, I am still learning a lot of things in my life, because I believe that you cannot hold on yourself only to a particular knowledge, because wisdom is something that can always be granted only if you are into a receptive mode of learning more.
Leena, we are excited to have you join us on our next episode, where we will explore the balance between business and spirituality as a female entrepreneur. Let's dive in with the first question. As a spiritual entrepreneur, how do you navigate the loneliness that can something accompany this path?
In spirituality, it is always a myth that the spiritual persons are lonely. I will not call them as lonely. We always hang around, we always communicate with the ones, majorly with the ones who have the same mindset like us. Usually, everybody doesn't understand what spirituality does. People call it that this is just a vehem that you are having in your mind. You should not do this or you should not do that. Here, loneliness is not about being with yourself, though it also helps us to focus on our own self. This actually helps us to be or to love ourselves more, get into more self-care. Being into business, being into spirituality and the growth, I would say that here we usually don't find ourselves lonely. What we find ourselves is that we are still working towards our soul for the growth financially, spiritually and mentally.
Great. So Leena, when financial pressure arises, what strategies do you use to ensure that your business decisions stay aligned with your spiritual beliefs?
Whenever financial crisis arises upon me, firstly what I do is I always practice mindfulness just to understand my clear set of goals as to where I want to land right now, where I should land in my short-term goals and what are all about my long-term goals. Then only I go and seek guidance from my mentors, from my spiritual advisors who actually help me to understand what else I can do to make myself more better.
Okay, so help us to encounter a situation wherein you had to choose between business growth and staying true to your spiritual path. How did you approach that decision?
This has happened majorly in my initial days. I would say that I always prefer being into a zone where I am not doing injustice to my clients, because the major aspect of me working is always that I am delivering more with the smaller materialistic things. What I do is I will call it that chota packet bada dhamaka, because I always believe in that one should always deliver more. And to this I would call that a lot of my clients are actually satisfied also, that they are happy with the services that they get, as I'm always available for them.
Well, that's a powerful approach. It's inspiring to hear that. Now, help us to understand, how do you foster a workplace culture that successfully balances your spiritual values with achieving business goals?
We are actually a team of 3 people, including me. We all work together, defining up the strategies from marketing to deliverance. Everything is being done in a team that we do together. I would call it that whatever compensation they receive is that whatever I give to my clients, automatically it has been given to them as well, as perks or as a compensation, you can call it. Because if my team grows, I will also grow. There is always a win-win model that customer, team, and you, being the business owner, all the 3 should win in every aspect of the life.
It's fascinating to hear that. Thank you, Leena, for sharing your valuable insight on balancing business and spirituality. Your perspective is incredibly inspiring, and I'm sure our listeners have gained a lot from our conversation today. We appreciate your time and we look forward to hearing more about your journey in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.